we have got some pretty interesting quality of life changes on the way in the world of Destiny 2. What's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and we are going to be covering this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly Blog, This Week at Bungie, for Thursday, March 28th, 2019. This one's going to be giving us a sneak peek at some of the upcoming quality of life changes we'll be seeing when Destiny 2 Update 2.2.1 goes live in just a week or so. And some of these incoming changes are actually fairly significant beneficial changes for players. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Now, first things first, you've no doubt noticed that a very specific Nightfall mission is available this week. That's right, the Corrupted, which a lot of Guardians have been waiting for a long time, since it's one of the requirements for completing some of the Dreaming City triumphs. Over the past several weeks, we've had a really bad spate of luck when it came to Nightfall strikes, and it seemed like the Corrupted was just straight up gone from the playlist. But it reappeared this week, and we also got to hear a bit from Bungie about how they're looking to prevent some of these long spaces of time where we get repetitive strikes and even bounties we'll talk about in just a little bit from happening again. Here's what they had to say. This week, the Corrupted is available for Forsaken owners to complete. If this is the last checkmark you need for the Dreaming City seal, make sure you head to the Dreaming City before the weekly reset. Moving forward, we'll be putting effort into preventing streaks where specific Nightfalls appear multiple weeks in a row or don't appear at all for months. And we'll be making sure your experience tackling strikes associated with seals isn't feast or famine. Which is very nice to hear moving forward. A lot of Guardians were really frustrated that we seem to be getting the same mixture of strikes every couple of weeks or so. Since again, completing some of these strikes is tied to triumphs we have currently in the game that are tied to some of the seals that you can earn. Happy to hear that they're changing that moving forward, and I'm very happy to hear about what's coming next, because we've got huge changes coming to the weapon frames and bounties that 801 from the Black Armory is going to be hosting. While weapon frames aren't tied to any specific seals, we understand that players are on the hunt for new and exciting rolls on their favorite weapons. Since Black Armory released, there have been a few streaks where sniper rifle or machine gun frames didn't appear for many weeks in a row. In Destiny 2 Update 2.2.1, 801 will begin offering all weapon frames each week. While players will still be limited in how many different frames they may acquire per week, we are removing the weekly rotation. And that, my friends, is a massive, massive change and is something, a huge quality of life change that we Guardians have been asking for a long time. There have been more than a few people out there looking to get the perfect roll on the Black Armory sniper rifle or the machine gun, the Hammerhead. And it can be really frustrating when you go week after week after week without either of those weapon frames showing up. So the fact that we're going to have access to all of the weapon frames every single week is exactly what the doctor ordered, in my opinion. Great quality of life change overall. I was definitely very happy to read about that, but that's not where this is ending. On April 9th, Destiny 2 Update 2.2.1 is going to bring a variety of quality of life changes and bug fixes. And we actually get a very short sneak peek at some of the changes we'll be seeing when April 9th rolls around. So let's go ahead and dive on into those as well. First up, for Dreaming City cosmetics, the drop rates for the Ghost, Ship, and Sparrow have been doubled, tripled, or more for their respective activities. And again, this is another huge change for you Guardians out there trying to complete your collections and even complete some of the triumphs that are tied to getting these cosmetic items. Moving on, for Last Wish cosmetics, the drop rates for the Ghost, Ship, and Sparrow have also been doubled, tripled, or more for their respective checkpoints. Which means those drops are hopefully going to be way more generous than they are now. Additionally, for 1000 Voices, the Raid exotic, this exotic will continue to be rare among players, but we've tuned the drop rates to give slightly better chances than what are currently available. So it seems like the 1000 Voices is going to have a slightly better drop rate, but it's still going to be considered a rare drop at the end of the Last Wish raid. Moving on, they're also increasing the drop rates for various lore books including Cade's Stash, the Dreaming City, and the Tangled Shore. And we're even getting some incoming changes to the way the invitations of the 9 work. Currently, players must complete an invitation of the 9 by Tuesday reset in order to have a new invitation appear on Friday. So basically, if you pick it up on Friday from Xur, but you hold on to it past the Tuesday reset, when Xur returns that week, the next step in the invitation of the 9 wouldn't show up. But after update 2.2.1, players will have until Thursday's reset at 10 a.m. Pacific time to complete the invitation, basically giving you an extra couple of days to finish that invitation of the 9 before you lose out on another week's worth of progression. Additionally, they're changing the Nightfall power handicap. In the Season of the Drifter, the 5 of Swords card was updated to apply score multipliers only after setting a power handicap of 100+. In update 2.2.1, they'll be adding a plus 25 and max handicap buttons to help players set their handicaps more efficiently, so that basically you don't have to sit there continually pressing the button to get to the handicaps you need. All of which are pretty good quality of life changes. Update 2.2.1, scheduled for April 9th, is looking like it's going to make the game a little bit easier to play with for Guardians out there, and this is just a small sampling of the quality of life changes we'll be seeing in that update. I cannot wait to hear more. I do believe we're supposed to be hearing something else about what they're going to be doing with Nova Warp for you Voidwalkers out there, which hopefully means that class is going to get a very much needed buff in both PvE and PvP. But additionally, update 2.2.1 will also kick off Arc Week, which is going to be a celebration of Arc energy in the Season of the Drifter. Cannot wait to see what's going to be coming in that. But alright Guardians, that's pretty much it for the biggest bits of news in this week's TWAB. The last thing there really is to talk about is that Bungie's going to be cracking down on some apparent cheating in Destiny 2. In a security response team section of the TWAB, they talk about cracking down on aimbots in an attempt to keep the playing field in both PvP and PvE level. There's also some more information in there about the steps they've taken to cut down on DDoSing, as well as some stats about how well their measures have been working at reducing some of these latency issues in PvP. There will of course be a link to the TWAB down in the description box below if you want to check out the full article on any of this stuff. And then finally, a few weeks ago we got some matchmaking changes for Gambit Prime. These were done in order to help solo queuers have a bit more of a fair time in the Gambit Prime game mode. And apparently they've reevaluated those settings and have made some further tweaks to try to get that matchmaking to be even fairer for solo play. So if you're a solo Gambit Prime player, hopefully you'll notice a bit better of an experience matchmaking in that game mode. But alright Guardians, that is pretty much it for the biggest bits of news contained in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. I've got to say, I'm really excited for some of the other quality of life changes that are coming to the game, although I will say that the biggest quality of life change that I think they could make right now is still just to remove enhancement cores from the infusion process. Hey, it's an ongoing conversation, and if you feel the same way, keep making your voice heard. But alright Guardians, that's going to be it for this one. Those are my thoughts on the news. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. Are you psyched about the 801 changes, or did you get your god roll or curated roll hammerhead a long time ago? Be sure to let me know. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But alright, I'm out for now. Thank you Guardians so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.